Okay, so we're gonna work on question number 9 right now of chapter E. All right, so it says, the first part A says take 1.3 inches and turn it into millimeters. Now this is kind of rough because you really don't know what conversions you're going to be given. It just has you look them up or assumes that you suddenly know them using any means necessary. So I'm gonna show you what I would probably give you on an exam, and I might go crazy here. I might say that there are 12 inches in a foot. And I'd probably say that there's 3.281 feet in a meter, and I'd leave you on your own. We'll find out why that is, because I do expect you to know that these prefixes, if this was a C, an M, a big G, whatever, all the way down pico, we went even smaller. So you need to know all those prefixes by heart, and that would be the information that I would leave out on an exam. All right, so let's go ahead and get started doing this. We're gonna take inches and we wanna turn it into millimeters. Now, using dimensional analysis, hopefully you recognize that inches here is just alone, right? That's all alone. That has a buddy, that has a buddy. So the inches are what go here. Once we've used that value, if that's inches, what has to go down here? Hopefully you agree it's inches, and we're taking it from here. This is 12 inches. And then what's left on top is the feet. If this is feet, we have to put feet here, and it has this 3.281 associated with it, with meters on top. That took us to meters, but that wasn't the question. The question was to millimeters, right? That's okay, because we know if we're going from meters to millimeters, like this, that there's just, you replace this M down here with 10 to the negative third. There's 10 to the negative third meters in a millimeter. Now all we do is calculate it. So 1.3, remember anything on the bottom gets a division sign. 1.3 divided by 12, divided by 3.281, divided by 10 to the negative third. I'm gonna show you how to enter that on the calculator that I recommended you guys get. 1.3 divided by 12, oops, just kidding, divided by 3.281, divided by 10 to the little hat, negative 3. Enter. And I get an answer of 4,754.65. I'm going to stop there because I know I don't need that many sig figs. Okay. Now when we go to look at sig figs here, which should be our next step, we should see that this one right here has 2. Remember, this is a conversion, so it's an exact number. This has infinite. The 12 has infinite. This 3.281 is infinite. And there's not somewhere like around 10 to the negative third meters per millimeter. There are 10 to the negative third. That's also exact. So we've got infinite, exact, 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 or excuse me, 2, infinite, infinite, infinite. So our answer needs to have just 2 sig figs. If you look at this, it might not be easy to see that the answer is going to be 48,000. I'll just tell you it right away in case you did get it right away. Or 4,800. Just making stuff up today. Sorry, I got a lot going on in my background. Okay, so we get 4,800. But that's not so easy all the time to see, so put this thing in scientific notation. This would be 4.75465 times 10 to the third, because you'd have to move that decimal place 3 times. This, then, it's easy to say, hey, this has 2, infinity, 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 therefore this should have 2. You underline 2. Sorry, that was a 7 and 5. You underline 2, ask if the number next to it is a 5 or greater. It is, so you round up. It's 4.8 times 10 to the third, which, by the way, is the same thing as 4,800. So either of those answers would be correct. Let's look at part B, where it says 132 feet to centimeters. We could use this conversion that I have up here and do it. I could use that there's 2.54 centimeters in an inch, which is pretty common, or that there are 12 inches in a foot. So there's so many ways to go about solving this problem, but let's say I gave you these two, 2.54 centimeters per inch and 12 inches per foot, So we take our 132 feet. We know that in a foot, there are 12 inches. And we know that in an inch, there are 2.54 centimeters. This 132 had three sig figs, by the way. This was infinite and that was infinite, so our final answer should have 3 sig figs. Let's go ahead and calculate it out. 132 times 12, everything's on the top, times 2.54. And I get an answer of 4,023.36. Again, we know it should have 3 sig figs. So your answer is either 4,020, or we could put this number in scientific notation, move that over 3 times, which would give us 4.02336 times 10 to the third. And then recognize that, again, remember that was 3, infinite, infinite. We're looking at 3. You underline 3, ask if that number next to it's a 5 or greater. It is not, so we get rid of it. And our answer is 4.02 times 10 to the third. Both of these are equivalent answers. Either one would work. All right, I'm just gonna do part C, and then I think I'm gonna leave y'all with this question. So part C says, I think I can read it. My printer's kind of running low on ink, so it's hard for me to see it all, but it's 1710 kilograms into pounds. Kind of a common thing that maybe you should start memorizing just in general is that there's about 2.2 pounds per kilogram, because you're going to run across this if you're going into the medical field or anything, about 2.2 pounds per kilogram. But that's a rounded number. So is this one, but I'm going to give you lots of sig figs. 2.2046 pounds. Per kilogram. Okay. So hopefully this should be a relatively straightforward one. We got 1710 kilograms. This kilograms going down here. 2.2046 pounds. So they're both on top, so we're multiplying. 1710 times 2.2046. And I get an answer of 3,769.87 or 866. Okay. How many sig figs should this thing have? This one, don't forget, zeros after numbers. If there's no decimal, they're not significant. This only has 3 sig figs. This is a conversion that we're using and given. We're going to treat it as though it's infinite. So this answer should have 3 sig figs. If you're getting kind of used to sig figs by now, you might be able to underline those 3, see that that one's greater, and be like, oh, my answer is 3770. But if you didn't do that, then put this in scientific notation first. Move it 1, 2, 3 times. 866 times 10 to the third. So 3.769866 times 10 to the third. I underline those first 3 numbers, ask if the number next to it is 5 or greater. It is, so I round up, and our answer is 3.77 times 10 to the third. Both of these numbers are the same answer and would work. All right, guys, I hope that helped with your questions. Keep them coming if you have any. Bye.